Welcome, everybody. This is the wonderful show, Pros vs. Joe. I'm your very florally decorated host, Zach Ward. And on Pros vs. Joe, we have one pro athlete challenge our Joe athlete to a competition of skills, strength, wits, and many other things. Now, this week, we'll be clashing out in the sport of football. That's American, of course, not soccer. That'll come later. But for this week, I have on my right our pro athlete, Damon Foncham. Damon, what do you do in football?
I'm a senior kicker and punter.
And Joe, have you ever played football before?
Oh, yeah. I played pee-wee football back when I was a little kid.
I guess technically that counts. Now, Damon, what brought you to Arkansas State, and I guess more specifically, our Arkansas State football team?
In high school, I just got recruited by them and got to take a visit here, and I just really fell in love with the place.
It sounds great. Joe, what led you here?
I lost a bet.
Is that okay? Self-explanatory, sure. Damon, what has been your experience with the, I guess, A-State campus and then the football team in particular?
Well, going on my 5th year here now, and it's been awesome. Got to win a couple conference championships when I first got here, and we've just been trying to improve since.
Yeah. Joe, what is your favorite color?
I like camo. Anything by Mossy Oak, really.
Is camo a color? I'm not going to ask, you know? Now, some of you may have probably seen things, but A-State went through a bit of a rough patch recently with Coach Anderson and his wife, and it's been really inspiring to see the turnout from the community and the fan base and really everyone involved with Arkansas State or Jonesboro or even in the state of Arkansas. It's been really inspiring to see the turnout and the love and the support through all of the turmoil, you might say. And Damon, I was wondering, what's your personal perspective on that? Like, what's your relationship with Coach Anderson?
I've had a great relationship with Coach Anderson. He's always been there for me, and I'd like to think that I've always been there for him. And I mean, he's a great coach, and that's
yeah. And
it.
I was wondering, what have you seen from him this past year or so?
Honestly, he's the strongest man I know. Like, he would come in the office every day with a smile on his face, and you wouldn't even be able to know what he's going through. But I mean, he's held strong through this tough time, and seemed to be figuring it out on the field as well.
Yeah, and it's really incredible. And to hear your personal story is kind of an affirmation of his character that I've heard from a lot of other folks too. Now, get into more specifics. You guys went out and did a little competition on the football field. I was hoping to get your first impressions before we actually take a look at the video. Damon, how did you think it went?
I thought I did pretty well.
Joe, what about you, bud?
Look, I don't want to brag too much. I'll let the film speak for itself, but that was the best football I have ever played in my life.
Okay. I guess that is something to be proud of. What do you think was your best activity, Damon?
Definitely the 40-yard dash.
It was pretty fast. I haven't run very many, but I was pretty impressed. Joe, what about you? What do you think your best activity was?
Zach, I think I really excelled at the stretches.
The stretches?
Yeah. You know, when it came before that 40-yard dash that he was talking about.
Joe, I don't think you know that wasn't an actual activity. You were just stretching before you ran, presumably so that you wouldn't, like, pull any muscles.
I practiced stretching for weeks before this.
Who told you to do that?
I don't know. I guess I messed up.
Oh, that's okay, Joe. I don't want to put you down or anything. I'd hate for our esteemed guest to feel let down. Now, I guess let's just go ahead and take a look at the footage and see what happened for ourselves. Hey there, everybody. I'm your host, Zach Ward. This is Pros versus Joe. We're out here at Centennial Bank Stadium for a little football competition. On my left here, I've got...
I'm Damon Fonsham, and I'll be your pro.
And Damon, what do you do here on the football team?
I'm a senior kicker and punter.
Gotcha. And over here on my right, I have the Notorious.
I'm Joe.
And Joe, tell me about your experience with football.
I played some pee-wee flag football as a wee little lad. Nothing aside from that, but I think it's my sport.
He's very confident. We'll see how that confidence translates into the actual activities. Ready, set, go! Ooh.
Not bad, not bad.
Welcome back, everybody. As you saw, that footage was, we'll say, a bit one-sided. But Joe, of course, you have an opportunity to redeem yourself. Damon, you weren't expecting this, but Joe here's got a bit of a challenge for you in studio to win back a bit of his pride and self-esteem here. So, what we'll be doing here is a simple game of paper football. I don't know. I'm sure you two are familiar with paper football.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
I'm familiar.
You know, back in the old school days. I think first we'll start off with just a regular paper football game. We'll see how that turns out, and then we'll move on from there.
All right.
So, Joe, if you want to start us off. Ooh. Not bad. Getting a bit in your own way there, Joe. Ooh, a little bit closer. Joe, refrain from taking out the set, please. Now, if you guys want to go one more round and see if we can at least get 1 point.
All right.
Joe, now would be the time to shine.
I'm ready, Zach.
Look at that. Incredible. Ooh,
1-1.
he's creeping up on you.
Too much.
Wow. It's just getting more and more forceful.
Is that a win?
Ooh. Let's see here. It's 1-1. I think we're going to have to go another round to decide it.
All right.
This round's mine.
Intimidating talk from Joe. Ooh. A bit too much on that one, I'd say. Whoa, that was... Ooh, this is your last chance, Joe. Wow.
That's game.
That last one was a bit much. Joe, how do you feel about that last round?
See, all the times I've normally played paper football, I had sleeves on my arms. The lack of sleeve resulted in more outward thrust.
Well, if I would have known that I would get more oomph out of my throws with less sleeves, I should have done that years ago. Damon, how did you think that went?
I mean, it wasn't much of a competition, but
Oof.
glad to be victorious.
That's tough. Now, I think we'll move on to our next competition. We're going to do a little field goal kicking, if you guys are up for it.
I'm up for anything if I can win.
Can you win, Joe? That's
I can win.
okay. There you go.
I'll let you go first.
Oof.
Not quite.
Wow. Right off the bat.
Right down.
Incredible.
All right, I got this one.
It's a bit rough. You are closer, though. Improvement is important. I'm going to say that counted because I wasn't paying close enough attention.
That counted.
You'll get there.
3.
That one was just insult to injury. Just right in the face. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
I guess go ahead and grab your extra paper football. Would you like to challenge him to another round, or?
I think I got one more round in me, Zach.
All right. Joe the challenger.
Let's see it.
Ever confident.
That doesn't count.
I think that counts.
Oh, boy. Wow. Those were really thin goalposts, and he still scored. I'm pretty impressed, to be honest.
Oh.
All right.
It was a bit of
Make
wind.
it.
It was a bit wind on that one. Oof.
It's another dub.
Wow.
2-0.
Should we add bonus points for hitting him in the face? I mean,
I think so.
I think that's a personal foul.
that's a There's no referees in this game.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, bud. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you.
It's okay.
Well, we've got 1 game. No, 2. 2 to Damon, 0 to Scott. We'll move on to our last game. The distance kicking competition. So you guys go ahead and get on the same side, whichever one. We'll kick this way. I think was probably
Kick that one.
a good, yeah. We've got to get the distance. And then we'll just see, you let them rip, and we'll see how far they go.
Behind the white line. It's out there.
Wow.
Out the studio.
All right.
I believe in you, Joe. Just before you kick again, we're going this way. Wow, that's like 2 in the same spot.
It's all about technique.
I mean, he seems to have it. You could probably learn a thing or two, Joe. Hey, you got past the first white line. I'm pretty impressed, actually.
Thanks, Zach.
Sending this one back home.
That's bonus points for the wall. I'm deciding that now. This is the deciding. Oh,
Sorry, Joe.
I couldn't even get an encouraging word in. I'm stunned. Oh boy. Well, if you guys would join me over here, we'll discuss the aftermath. Joe, it was rough. I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't go super well, but I think you can recover. You've always got next week. Damon, congratulations on winning literally everything.
Thank you.
Pure athletic prowess, I'd say. I don't know, yeah, utter proof. Closing thoughts from you guys?
There was never a doubt in my mind that I would win every event.
Sheer
but
confidence. I think that may be the
Joe
key to
gave it-
victory.
Joe gave his best, and I'm glad he could do that at least.
Well, I think we get a good handshake in, remain friends. Athletic competitors will always bring us closer. And for me, your florally decorated host, Zach Ward, this has been Pros versus Joe. Thank you all for joining us, and join us next week on Wednesday.